Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Entrepreneur TV Middle East. We're here live today at Doers Summit, and with me up next is my next doer. Her name is Sinéad O'Keeffe. She's the head of Scale 360 at IFZA. What a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being here with us. I'm going to have a couple of questions for you today about obviously IFZA, the 360 that you're going to be speaking about, the Scale 360, as well as how are you doing as a doer and what it means to be a doer. So to kick things off, tell us a little bit about yourself, obviously, your introduction, and a bit about the project.
Perfect. So my name is Sinead, like you mentioned, and for those of you who probably understand, it is an Irish name. So I'm from Ireland. I actually moved to the Middle East 4 years ago with the ambition to work in tech and to work with startups. And I'm still very, very happy to be here. And of recent, I've started working on the Scale 360 by IFZA project. And Scale 360 is basically a program that is formed as a launchpad, and it's the ambition to support international startups in making their way and scaling into the region. And we mainly focus on AI and sustainability and later stage startups. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're in the right place.
Exactly.
How's your participation here today at Doers Summit?
Really, really good, really strong. It seems to be like everyone is out for today. Lots of founders here, which is amazing. So we've had some really interesting conversations.
I can imagine. What do you look for in a founder? What do you think is important, traits to have? What sort of, let's say, business they need to own in order to be successful, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think what you find from a lot of the entrepreneurs that make it and that are successful in this region, I think it's the ambition to build relationships. And I think...
All in the network.
All in the network. And I think if anyone is coming from outside, they don't understand how important it is to build a relationship before you do business. Like I say to my entrepreneurs is that you might lose business because the person doesn't like you, which wouldn't happen in many other countries. But here, if they like you, it's great. So they'll do business with you because it builds trust. So I would say build the relationship and this will bring you business.
It's very specific. You're right about the UAE, and I completely agree with you. I feel like it's just the vibe, right?
Yeah, and I love that about it.
You become friends first, and then who knows what's going to happen next. But
exactly.
It's absolutely important. Tell me a bit about AI. What's your take on it? Obviously, will it, create more jobs than it eliminates? It's the billion-dollar question everybody's talking right now. As you are in tech, I suppose you're deeply into AI and AI startups. What's your take on that one? Where do you see it going?
I think AI is still on its very foundational beginnings.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it can take us. What I like to see from startups, and it's the kind of startups that I understand that realize what AI is and what it can contribute, is when they try to tackle at least one problem. When you see AI startups and they're trying to solve, our AI can do everything.
Solutions.
It's too wide of a market. Yeah. So I think from the startup perspective, when they focus on a real specific problem, and it's what we've brought in with Scale 360 that I'm really happy with, the types of problems that they're solving is incredible. But we're seeing too many startups that are too generic.
Too broad.
Yeah, it's just we're AI so we can solve everything. So I think you'll see these ones start to die off, and then you'll find the ones that will really succeed in the next 5 years, 6 years that you will get to know the name of are the ones that niche down and solve that real true problem.
So you would say that's kind of like your biggest piece of advice to all those entrepreneurs out there?
Hands down, yeah. Niche down. However small you think you're focusing, go deeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's go big or go home here, and if you don't have that niche, I feel like you're just losing your chances of reaching the top. And eventually, if you know better, I think how much is it? 95% of startups that fail in the first year. There's a very big number, right?
Especially with AI as well. It's kind of like the .com thing. Everyone's able to put their hands on it, and AI definitely makes it easier to start a company. I mean, I think today globally, but also in the UAE, it is the best time ever to start a company because of what you have around you. But that also comes with complications when you are dealing with AI, which is make sure that you're solving the right niche and make sure you're using it for the right purposes.
Of course. Entrepreneurs, listen out, some great advice over here. Moving on to my doer questions now, since we're at the Doers Summit. What makes you a real doer?
A real
your personality and your attitude is just
I think if you're introverted what I would say as a doer is focus on how you can be more extroverted. Because I think being a well-rounded person in both of introvert and extrovert, and it's the same for extroverts. I think if you want to be a doer, learn to be in a room and listen, and you will come to realize there's so much more that you can take in. So I would say trying to be the best well-rounded person to go about your tasks.
It's be the introverted extrovert, extrovert, introvert.
Exactly. I'm meeting a lot of people, especially in Dubai. It's where I can never tell if someone is introverted or extroverted, because introverts have learned how to be extroverted here, and you see them really active. And it's the same with extroverts. I've seen them become more introverted in order to get business done.
Oh, that's such a cool point of view.
It's a different perspective, but it's a conversation I had recently that I really, really loved.
No, but I agree with you.
Not personality. Yeah.
Totally. Crazy. What is one habit that separates doers from everybody else, in your opinion?
It's such a boring answer, but it's consistency. It's just showing up. Every day is not going to look perfect.
Dedication mechanism.
It's just dedication. Some days you're going to be absolutely crap and you're going to hate the work, but it's the fact that you showed up and you had the resiliency and you keep going through. And I think that's what they mean by resiliency, is just showing up. It's a boring answer because it's that simple. It doesn't need to be difficult, but show up and keep that consistency.
It's like going to the gym.
Let's not talk about that. That's not where I'm consistent.
Me neither. Absolutely not. Yesterday I had an interview with Squat Wolf. They're just the famous
Wolf. Yeah, I know them. Yeah.
brand, and they were saying, the founders was like, Mina, the first thing that we ask at our interviews, anybody who we want to employ in our company, is, do you go to the gym? Do you do sports? Why? Because it means they're dedicated individuals and they're going to do well at their job as well. And I was like,
it's a good perspective.
About it that way. Not everyone, but
for that
specific industry, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
If the world had more doers, what would it look like? Do you think there's enough doers? Do you think we need more?
I think in one essence, I think the people that support the doers, like, so when I say doers, I think doers come in all capacity. Like, you can be a doer, but in a supportive role as part of a team. And I think what's really important that people forget and that they over glamorize is that you don't always need to be that leader person in the limelight or the top of the founder. The whole team is just as important. Well, that's how I personally like to work, and what I see. I think there's a lot of success of doers that are on their own and that they really go and try for. But the happiest people that I have seen are the people that bring people together. And it's a combination of doers. A doer who's in HR, a doer who's in marketing, etc., that builds out this stuff. So this is, I think the world would be amazing with that.
Exactly.
More collective
Essentially, exactly. That it's not a one-man show, because eventually, like, most often when I ask all these entrepreneurs, what's your definition of success? Or what legacy would you like to leave behind? At the end of the day, it's so important that you leave a legacy. You've reached the money. You've reached everything you want in life. It's about how you influence other people and how, as a team,
who you've brought with you.
Yeah. Brought with you. So I completely agree with you. Final questions for you. You're going to pick a card and then answer the question. If you want, you can pick two as well.
I'm going to be less risky.
What does it say?
Are entrepreneurs born or made?
What do you think?
They're made.
They're made?
Yeah.
You think everybody's capable of being one?
Absolutely. I think if you look at the definition of entrepreneurship as a whole and being, I think you can be an entrepreneur in whatever capacity.
If you have the consistency.
If you have the consistency, but it is definitely a mindset. I think we hear oftentimes of people that were like, I never thought it would be me, but then I realized I just had to solve this problem. And sometimes it's actually about the reason why they become an entrepreneur is why some of them end up being get made, because the reason why is so strong that it empowers them into going that. There's obviously a lot of them that are born and that can see it from their parents, etc. But I'm very thankful that I've seen a lot of them that have been made because of the situation.
Self-made fully.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it is a lonely journey. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, right? And you need to find that motivation and that light at the end of the tunnel that you're always going to follow no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a schedule. You don't work 9 to 5 anymore.
No.
9 to 6.
You're responsible for that schedule.
For your entire life and for that baby that you're creating, right? So yeah. Fully agree with you. Sinéad, I'm so pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you very much for having.
And
Great questions.
Thank you for coming over to our booth and to many more.
Perfect.
Thank you
so much.